Question of the day. What is good, YouTube? It's that one camera guy back at again with another video for you. This is going to be kind of a new segment, question of the day, where I pull a question from email, Facebook, Instagram, or from YouTube that I want to expand upon. Now, I got this email from Javier. He says he's trying to make a decision on getting a new lens. He shoots with an Alpha 6500 and he's deciding between a 55 Zeiss f1.8 or an 85mm f1.8 FE. Or he says just save up for a 70-200 f2.8. Now, he's getting into sports photography, but he considers himself a hobbyist. And so he says, thanks for reading my email. He says he's also from the Central Valley. He says, keep the videos coming. They're great. Javier, thank you. And so I also did a follow-up email asking him what kind of sports he shoots. He says he does indoor and outdoor soccer, outdoor primarily, and also jiu-jitsu tournaments. And again, he's just getting into sports photography. So this is a really great question because it is the dilemma that I feel a lot of you might go through for those of you itching to get started on sports photography. My initial recommendation is, if you haven't bought into any system, is to avoid Sony Mirrorless right now. It is a very expensive arena to jump into if you're doing sports photography. And kind of let me coach you on this. You need a 70-200 f2.8 stabilized lens. That's kind of the standard lens when it comes to shooting sports. It doesn't have to be stabilized technically, but that's a staple lens that you need. And it's going to get you good low light performance. It's going to be very versatile for outdoor and indoor stuff. And it just pretty much works all across the board, even for portraits, right? If you want to get that lens for a DSLR system, you expect to spend about $800 to $1,000 through Tamron or Sigma, which is a really great deal. If you go to the Sony side, it's about $2,600 for their G Master 70-200. That's twice the price, if not more. It's 2.5 times the value of the 70-200 for a conventional DSLR system. So because of that, I would highly recommend that most of you consider going the DSLR route. You can get a nice 70-200, you can get a pretty nice ultra-wide lens or a standard zoom lens that has an f2.8 aperture that's going to allow you to be versatile when shooting sports. Because if you have to wait to raise money, that's time that you didn't get to shoot and pursue your passion or your hobby or your interest. I'd rather you prevent those kind of situations from happening. Now, if you need 4K video and you need like 120 frames per second, then I can see why you want to go ahead and get a mirrorless camera. But if you're primarily focused on shooting photos, get a DSLR. That's my recommendation. All right. So to focus back on Javier's question, let's say you had no choice, I would recommend getting the 85mm f1.8 FE, because at least with that lens, you can shoot the jiu-jitsu, but you gotta kind of go further back. Now, I've never shot jiu-jitsu. I'm only imagining a situation. I feel that 85 might be too long, but for those of you that have shot jiu-jitsu, let me know in the comments below what lens that you recommend he goes with. Now, I would say 85 because at least with an 85, he could potentially shoot some indoor and outdoor soccer with the 85 giving him enough reach. Now, the issue is obviously you're just gonna have to wait for the action to get close to you because you only have a prime lens and it doesn't actually reach. So you're just gonna have to wait for the subjects to get closer to you to get photos of them. Now, an alternate option that I recommended to Javier was actually instead to get a 55-210 and also to get the 50mm f1.8 OSS. That's going to come out to about $500 to $600. It's not going to break the bank, and it kind of fits within the budget that he already has. The 55-210 will be great for daytime soccer. It won't be good for necessarily indoor stuff, but you can still shoot in that environment. And then with the 51.8 OSS, that's going to be good for low light stuff for the jiu-jitsu stuff, assuming that Javier can get close enough to the area that they're shooting in. So that would be my alternate recommendation if I had about a $500 to $600 budget. And here's the thing, I'd like to know what you would do in that kind of situation. What lenses would you recommend? Would you go DSLR, stick with Sony Mirrorless? And how can we help Javier in this kind of situation? Folks, if you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and check out my other content. And with that said, I'm your host, that one camera guy, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.